So today is about a new way of solving the world's problems. There's so many existential problems that we're faced with. Climate change, financial, economic and spending crisis, conflict, mass migration, terrorism. All these problems seem to have one root cause, which is lack of sustainability. We're overusing renewable resources, and therefore the United Nations has come up with this UN 2030 Sustainability Development Goals, 17 of them to be achieved by 2030. That means we really have to hurry up. And there are basically two classical approaches to solve global problems. One is nation states and the United Nations. And the second pillar is global corporations. But obviously we can see that we are late. It's unlikely that we'll achieve our goals by 2030, so we need to have new ideas how to get there soon, and that's why I'd like to propose a third pillar, which is city networks. This is the place where basically civil society can be mobilized. Cities could be turned into motors of innovation, and City Olympics would be the tool. And the idea is not to have another competition between people. The idea is to combine competition and cooperation. That means all the new ideas and solutions developed within those City Olympics, they should be open source and Creative Commons, and everyone can take them, apply them. Every city would choose the proposal that meets their city best, their culture, their budget, their people, and it could be developed further. Companies could take them, small and medium-sized companies, to spin-offs, then also NGOs, scientists, everyone could take it and combine those ideas and solutions to come up with better solutions. And so this is really about fixing the world together. We can achieve this only by combining our forces and ideas. Now, Sebastian Thrun of Google X at that time said only 1% of all things have been invented. So how do we invent the other 99%? And obviously, we need to change the way we go about innovation. And there's so many innovations that happen by hobby scientists and engineers, and it's really astonishing. Here is just one example. George Hotz came up with his own self-driving car. He's a hacker, so he played around with this stuff, and we can do much more than we think. Also new ways of air travel. These are just two examples. And so what is the idea behind those City Olympics? Basically to take open data, hackathons, fab labs, maker spaces, citizen science one level up. The United States wanted to become a nation of makers, and of course this is an exciting idea. There are maker spaces all over the world. That's the one in Amsterdam. And this is also the place where this picture has been painted, because this is what happened over there. People were curious how things work, and they're still curious until today. This is the Fairphone that they have invented in this place. And the idea is you have to be able to look inside to understand how it works, to change it, to upgrade it, and all these kind of things. That's important also for sustainability. So open innovation is becoming ever more important, and fab labs are spreading around the world at the same time. Hackathons are spreading. Open data is spreading, citizen science is spreading to unleash and unlock the people's power. And one very nice example is OpenStreetMap, which was invented, I think, in London at UCL and then spread all over the world. Now they have 1 million people feeding in data to create one of the most up-to-date and accurate maps of streets and hiking trails and all this. So this is really amazing. And you can do a similar thing actually with cities, putting together all the photographs that tourists take and upload to the web. You can reconstruct the city in 3 days. So basically, this shows you how much power is in the people, in the civil society. And a similar approach can be taken for participatory health services, for responsible consumption, for participatory resilience, to be able to respond to disasters and crises more efficiently. I mean, give people tools to help themselves and help each other. That is the point. And of course, participatory sustainability is another issue. I think companies cannot do that for us, only to some extent at least. And we have to be part of the game, part of the transformation of our society to a digital and sustainable society, and we need to think digital and sustainability together. So basically we have the Internet of Things in our pocket, and we can use this to measure externalities and external effects of human action, like noise, CO2, all the ways that they produce, but this is valuable resources in principle. And so basically, we could give all those resources price, a value, and that can be done, for example, with blockchain technology. And this way, new kinds of economic forces can be created that would act towards closing logistic supply chains to become circular. That means this could be an alternative way to create a circular economy and sharing economy. And we could even go a step further and say, why don't we engage in open source urbanism, given that initiatives such as Wikipedia and GitHub, Creative Commons have really moved so much ahead, are so successful, and now people are working on open source architecture. Now think of all those refugees who need to live in some places. So think of new cities that we could build in such an open source urbanism way, just by facilitating openness, collaboration, modularity, granularity, and low-cost integration. Again, the place where all this happens are cities. So cities are the places where the problems are concentrated, but also where the resources for the solutions are, where the people and the ideas and the innovations are. So we need to build an information innovation production and service ecosystem where everyone can participate. And that's why the success principles of this digital future that we're heading towards are collaborative in nature, co-learning, co-creation, combinatorial innovation, coordination, cooperation, co-evolution, and collective intelligence. These are the success principles of the future. Now, remember, this spring we had our preparatory workshop on City Olympics, also here at the Complexity Science Hub in Vienna, and shortly after, in the United States, there was an announcement of those new initiatives, which is called the City Challenge, the City Climate Challenge. So this is what means America first. They just are first in implementing that kind of stuff. So they have launched 70 million in order to get it off the ground. See at the deadlines over here, it already is happening. So what is Europe waiting for? What is the world waiting for? You know, let's get that off the ground on a global scale. Let's save the planet together. And at first, we have the first signature from the city of Piraeus, and by the end of the day, we hope to have many more signatures of this memorandum of understanding that Stefan has set up. And let's all move this ahead together. Thank you very much.